Dude, I just saw Season 5, Episode 7 of Stranger Things, titled The Bridge. Here are my thoughts with spoilers, and I'll give my rating at the end. So, before I get into this, let's do a quick recap of my thoughts about the season. I've been reviewing every episode, like, a minute after I watch it. See, Episode 1, which was called The Crawl, I didn't like it. I said it was the second worst episode of the show. The second episode was The Vanishing of Holly Wheeler. I liked it. It was pretty cool. Episode 3, Turbo Trap. I loved that Home Alone scene. Demogorgon on fire was amazing. Episode 4, Sorcerer, amazing. Episode 5 was Shock Jock. That was a really good episode. Liked all the storylines there. Episode 6 was Escape from Camazotz. I even cited it as one of my favorite episodes of the whole show. Top 10 maybe. I loved it so much. So let's get into The Crawl. The two major themes of this episode, in my opinion. One of them being explaining to everyone that was a major character in the show that didn't really know about the supernatural elements. The supernatural elements. Like Karen, Mike was trying to introduce that to her, and he's like, no time, I'll tell you later. And they did the same to Mr. Clark. And the second theme of this episode is that it is, not embarrassingly, but they embrace it, it is complete and utter setup. You know? There's no juice, really. It's not a bad thing. You know, the finale is going to be great, but I would have liked to see more time. It could have added another 30 minutes. I just need more Stranger Things, man. I can't believe the finale is in a week. That's insane to me. Stranger Things is going to be over in less than a week, actually, on Wednesday. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, dude. That's upsetting. Really upsetting. What else? Just a few things I want to mention before I get into the real nitty-gritty meat and potatoes. Max is awake, I was really happy to see that. It doesn't make sense to me why Will was the most excited to see her, because when we last saw the two, they weren't really friends at all. Just friends via proximity or mutuals. Like, even in Season 2, Will wasn't too keen on Max joining the friend group. Didn't really make sense to me, but I don't mind, honestly. When Steve was trying to introduce a plan, and he said, "We don't need a magic bean," and nobody heard him, it was hilarious. One of the funniest moments all season. It subverts your expectations, because it's a huge cliche, a huge trope this show specifically falls into, when a bunch of characters are talking over each other, and another character that's not one of them tries to introduce a plan and just says it out loud. He's like, guys, you might want to see this. But I love how they subverted it, flipped it on its head. It's funny, very funny. Elle's swimsuit is the same colors as her Volume 1 fit, I noticed, which is pretty cool, because the final outfits that they're going to wear are going to be on all the merchandise. I know all the Funko Pops I know already, so that's going to become iconic, so it's cool to theorize and stuff. What else? Oh, another thing, Vecna's corruption of all the kids. It's very cultist, and I'll get into that. So let's get into everything, the nitty-gritty, the meat and potatoes, as they say. So Dustin, he saw Dr. Brenner's book and is trying to introduce everything he knows now. And I'm not gonna lie, I had to rewatch that scene like 2 times because whoa, back up. It just wasn't clocking to me. It's like when you read a page of a book and have to reread it because it didn't clock. But basically, there's Earth, then there's the Upside Down. For years, everyone has thought that the Upside Down was just the final form, basically. But as Dustin said, everything we assumed about the Upside Down has been dead wrong. And that is so true, because the Upside Down is just the bridge for Dimension X, which is called the Abyss. I think it's Dimension X or one of those, because when I saw it, I immediately recognized it as when Vecna was first sent there by Eleven in Episode 7 of Season 4. So that is where Vecna is. I noticed a beating heart above where Vecna was staying, and he's in this little thing that looks like a hand, and all the kids are there, and when Holly escaped, we kind of got a better look at the world, and there's a gate in there, and from the gate, you get to the Upside Down. There are gates in the Upside Down, and from the Upside Down, you get to Earth. So it's a little confusing, but the Upside Down is essentially a bridge between the Abyss, Dimension X, to Earth, and their plan is to go to the Abyss somehow, a little confusing, and bomb everything. Callie's trying to convince Eleven that they should essentially be collateral damage and die themselves, which it's either that's going to be her ending, where she has to stay in the Upside Down like Loki, or something about the waterfalls, but they're hinting at either one, so they know what the fans want, or they know what the fans think. Their plan is they're going to go on top of the radio tower and somehow find a rift to the Abyss. I don't know what form that's going to be in and how we haven't seen it before, but yeah, it's a little confusing to me. So with all the kids, it turns out Vecna's plan is to make new wills, basically. He's infusing them with this black dust thing, that the type of thing that Will threw up and became a demodog in season 2. Yeah, and he's using that to amplify his powers to become king of everything, which is insane. It is, granted. But yeah, really excited to how that's going to be. It's going to be the final set piece in the Abyss, is my guess. Really excited to that. They have, and as I predicted, they have everyone, which is extremely exciting. Everyone from Mr. Clark to Max to Mike to the original friend group to Robin to Vicky, like all the main characters, all the good guys that are alive are there. Except Ted. To save Holly and to save the Earth, and that's really exciting. But while they were there, Will came out as being gay. Something many fans have theorized for years, which wasn't really introduced as a storyline until season 5, but people knew. They knew. So I know that's going to be a huge talking point. Again, I haven't really been on social media at all, because to avoid spoilers, so it'll be interesting to see what people think about that. But I think this shuts down the Byler agenda. I don't like Byler. Mike and Eleven have been there since day one, and it'll stay that way, trust me. If you think that they have a lack of chemistry this season, it's a lack of writing, because they're meant to end up together. But what this shows you, and what episode 4 shows you, is that he doesn't need Mike. Not a scapegoat, but he was sort of using Mike just because he was confused, and he was his version of Tammy to Robin. That was never going to happen. Mike was never going to leave Eleven for Will. Her brother. Come on, what are we doing? That just complicates things, and it's... Come on. Do you really believe that? Anyway, I'm so excited for this finale. I've never been more excited for an episode of anything ever. And this is really exciting. One thing I wanted to point out, big thing, is that I've noticed this in so many shows recently. Of an 8-episode season, episode 7 always works better as a finale. This was not the case. It was the case in Peacemaker and the Chair Company, and I'm glad they didn't do that. They stuck, I hope they stick the landing. This was all set up, so it couldn't really be the finale, but I'm going to make about 1 million vids theorizing about the finale just to document. Not that anybody watches these vids, but just sort of documentation for what my thoughts are, what my current mindset is at the time. You know what, cut the music. I forgot to mention this, but that ending where the kids start to get possessed, that was especially crazy to me, remembering that was the same dinner table where Henry killed his family. Oh my god. I don't think that's what was going to happen with the kids, and it's a very interesting choice as the last shot we see of the second to last volume, but, you know, it's exciting anyway. Not in that way, but, you know. So, yeah, this episode is... I don't know, it's like a 7 or an 8. But I'll say an 8, why not? I love Stranger Things. Some corny lines in here, but I liked it nonetheless. I recommend it. Yeah, Stranger Things Season 5, Episode 7, penultimate of the whole show. Oh my god, that's insane. I don't think you guys realize how crazy that is. But let me know your guys' thoughts about this episode. Please drop your predictions for the finale. And in the finale, if they don't play Heroes by David Bowie as the end credits song, this is my version of Byler for you guys. That's the way to make me cheer up, man. I will protest if they don't play it at least once, so with that, peace out.